Hello, this is about the care of your instrument, of your guitar. It will apply to most guitars, however, mostly my expertise is, of course, the classic guitar, or what some call Spanish guitar, or folk guitar, or just plain nylon string guitar. Now, in order to take care of the fingerboard, we're going to look at that first. You're going to need rubbing alcohol, cotton ball, cotton swab, and pure virgin olive oil. I prefer it from Spain. Now, you're going to work on your fingerboard. You do not cut the strings or whatever. That was the worst thing I've ever had a student do. Is I told him the week before that, okay, next lesson I will show you how to take care of the fingerboard and take off the strings and show you how to change them and everything. And they came back the next time, the strings were off, and the dad said very proudly, oh yeah, he took a wire cutter, went click, click, click. Oh, that's horrible. Because the guitar, can you see this? Can you see this?
Yes.
This is called the nut. The nut is usually the person that's playing the guitar, but on the guitar this is called the nut. Whereas this is the saddle or the bridge. So between the nut and the saddle, or the strings, and the tension on here. The tension on nylon string instrument is around 150 pounds pressure. Whereas with a steel string, it's 1,200. The first time they put steel strings on a guitar of such, the neck broke. So someone came up with the idea of drilling a hole through the neck, putting a steel rod in there, and that's what all steel string guitars, electric guitars, have. They'll see a little patch up here, little plastic patch. You can unscrew it, take it out, and look, and there is where you can adjust the steel rod. A regular Spanish guitar, or classic guitar, does not have that. Now, we're going to take off the strings and then show you the process here. Alright, to clean the fingerboard, first of all, take off the strings one by one, either from inner to outer or outer to inner, so that you keep a balance on the board because of the tension. I'm going to show you when we put on the strings, we do the same thing. You either work from inner to outer or vice versa. Now, for cleaning, like I said, you need rubbing alcohol and a cotton swab. It's very basic. Well, the reason for our cleaning is that if you ever look at your guitar and you see these little grains on here, I'm going to show you one up close here where you can actually see the grains, and if any of those connect, the lines in it underneath the fret, it's going to split the wood and you're going to ruin, your fingerboard's going to be ruined. Well, let me show you the other one first. As you can see on this one, there are lines of the grain. If they ever connected underneath, it would split the wood. So we end up with a clean board, no strings, and that comes to the point of cleaning it. Well, we use a rubbing alcohol, we use a cotton swab. The only thing you have to be careful of is getting it on the sides. So whenever you put it, you keep wiping your hands to the side so that you don't get it to eat through. The rubbing alcohol will eat it right through. So this is how we clean it up. You should also take the nut and inspect it to see how dirty, if it's dirty or whatever by the way the strings have been, and try to clean that up as well, just simple cleaning. You go all the way up to the, come on, all the way up and even on the inside. That's the cleaning of it. Sometimes you'll look at it and it will be just filthy black. Well, it's a little bit black. Barely, but a little bit. This is pretty clean. I've seen some that you wipe once and it looks as black as the board right here. So, this is the process of cleaning it. After you clean it, with the rubbing alcohol, it's going to dry very quickly. The next process, oh, besides the nut you should look at, you should also check the saddle. See if there's any ridges or whatever in here. Clean it well too. Now that's almost dry. All right, that's how you use the rubbing alcohol. As far as the next process is, of course, the oiling of the fingerboard. Now, oiling is very important. You don't want to put too much, but you should put about one every other or every third fret so that you can rub that in, which I'll show you. Make sure you have your clean hands, clean finger. I just use my finger, it's fine. Take a cap, go get a drop on there, put it about every third, then you go back and rub them in. Wow, you don't want to stay there, do you? All the way on up, and even in here. Even if you don't play that high. Some fingerboards are very dry, they'll soak it up right away. I did one for a student, showing them how to do it, and after 3 soakings it was still soaking up. It was very, very dry. So you need to watch how dry the board is. It's going, you treat the instrument well and it will treat you well. Now, if there's excess oil, it should mostly rub in. If there's excess oil, don't worry about it getting on the string. It's okay. But if it's too much, then wipe a little bit off. But in general, it's going to go right on there, and it's going to make your board look really nice, and it's going to treat you very nice. Now, go on the edge and make sure that there's nothing hanging off the side there again. Now we're ready to go for the strings. All right. Some have asked about the surface here with the way they put on the finishing surface. It used to be they would do a French polish, which was very time consuming, and you would have to work it in to the board. And now they do a spray that's on, and so with the spray on, you might as well use lemon pledge. I mean, it doesn't matter at the top, just as long as it's clean looking, you're fine. Now it's time to put on the strings. This is the way I like to do it. I know that all the books that you see, or in the pamphlet that comes with the strings, they show you to put it through and then wrap it. But they wrap it in such a way that I find it very annoying, because it would end up going around and around and around and around and sticking down where it would be touching the top and can cause a buzz. So this is the way I do it. I take the string, bring it back around like this, so that in essence it's a knot. Now it came around here and then around again, so that when you tie it, it makes a knot. See it? And this is not going to touch anything. Might touch the top of the case when you put it in, but it's not going to be touching anything in here that can cause a rattle. Okay, for the other end, of course, you want to poke it through the hole up here and then bring it back. It doesn't matter which side you do, as long as it's the same side. I like the left side myself. And the best way to do it is take up the tension and twist it one more time. See the twist? Okay, taking up some slack. Take the twist. Reason you're taking it up, stay in one place there. The reason you're taking it up, it's going to tune up faster. Now check the bottom, make sure that it's still together. Now, as I turn this, it's going to connect, it's going to catch, like right there. And you should never have more than 3 complete turns around the part there. Another thing that it does is it lines this up more straight. The more straight that this lines up, the better it's going to be. All right, now we can work from outer to inner, but actually since we've already taken those tensions off, it doesn't really matter that much. But I'll just go through this. I'm so used to it, I'm going to do it that way. Okay, again, this way, around, and then back up. Hold your little finger, or hold your finger, I should say, on the end here and pull it tight. So now it's sticking up. It's not going to hit anything. Then I hold my thumb here when I work on the other end. Poke it through the hole. Bring it back. Hello, come on. Missed. Now on the top string, are you focusing down here? Mm-hmm. On the top string, I usually wrap it twice, just because it has more tension than the rest, and it will go on faster. And that's usually the only one that I do double. Okay, it's caught now. And if it ever slips, then when it comes up to there, poke it back down through again. That way you ensure that the top string is going to catch. Now, before you get too far gone, you check where the nut is on here, because you don't want it too far on the other. It looks good, pretty even. All right. Lovely, huh? Okay, let's see. Let me get up to a couple of turns on here. If you want to use one of those little knobby things, fine. I think that's kind of a lazy way of doing it. Another comment I will have is, you see what the strings look like when they're hanging out like this? Look like a girl with her hair up in curlers. Very ugly. So, I never leave them like this. Always tuck them to the back and fold them if you can. What I mean is, let's see if I can show this. Let's take this one. I take it and try to put it like the way it was. Make a loop, and you loop them inside of each other, and inside of each other, and you can make them smaller and smaller, and they look like this. It comes from the Spanish gypsy way, of course, of not throwing away anything. And they would do this, in essence, because if a string broke at some place, they could unravel it and still connect it and still have a string. In other words, they got the most that they ever could out of the string. I like it because it makes the instrument look like you care. And that's what this is about, the care of your instrument. Look at the way it looks. It looks nice. It doesn't look like a girl with her hair been colored. It looks like some orderly fashion, like you care about your instrument. Okay, I just want to show you how, if you look, there's all minus 3 reps. It should never be more than 3 reps. See how many turns there are in here? It tightens up quicker. It will stay in tune faster. This is the way to do it. Now remember, the strings you put on it, the instrument will get used to that, plus it will get used to how hard or how soft you pick. So both things apply.